Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of the Articulate Fly, and we're back with another Central Pennsylvania fishing report with George Costa of TCO Fly Shop in State College. How you doing, George?
I'm good as always, Marvin. How are you?
As always, just trying to stay out of trouble. Looks like you're kind of looking at your weather. You're kind of like right in the fall groove. So, what are you seeing in the State College area on the trout front?
Well, we finally got a little bit of rain this past week. We got about, 3/4, almost a whole inch of rain. Most spots up here locally Tuesday into yesterday morning, which was nice. We definitely needed it. So the rain bumped the water up a little bit. Still low and clear. Everything's kind of dropping back down now, but that little blast of rain really helped get the levels back up a bit. Low clear still for the most part. Rest of the week should fish good. And, we're getting into fall time here. So we've, been seeing some ISOs here and there, and some of our streams have still been pretty good. There's been a few olives here and there, some October caddis here and there. Nothing major as far as dry flies, but, fish are definitely starting to pack on that, that winter weight now. It's starting to get cool. Temperatures have dropped into the low 60s on most of our streams for most of the day with the cooler nights we've got coming up here. And it's been, fish has been pretty good. All things considered, we're in the fall now. Leaves are definitely turning and starting to fall. So that'll be fun to, hook a leaf on every cast in the next few weeks. So watch out for that. The leaf hatch is on.
Yeah, there you go. So what do you suggest for folks from a tip and tactic perspective?
I would stick with, primarily nymphing. Dries when fish are actively rising are good. You can always search with a big caddis or an ISO an ISO or a caddis and just do a dropper off the back of that. Nymphing is going to be more productive, and it's definitely getting towards that time to start throwing some streamers. We are, one of our guides this week did spot a couple of fish, moving around and starting to build some reds. So it's definitely time of year to start watching out for reds, but it's also the time of year where we're going to want to, start throwing some streamers. Fish are going to start getting colored up, a little more aggressive, and they're going to start chasing streamers pretty good here in the next couple of weeks.
Gotcha. And if I remember correctly, George, your preference on streamer fishing is not to fish something so big to give a fish a heart attack, right?
Yeah. Smaller stuff tends to work better here. The majority of our fish are, we don't have gigantic fish around here. They're around, but, I think locally here for Central PA, 2 to 3.5, maybe a 4-inch max streamer is all you want to get. Those smaller streamers tend to move more fish, and you're going to hook up with more fish. If you're fishing a giant stream around here, 90% of the fish that are going to grab it are going to be too small to even grab the hook. So I think smaller stuff, you're going to have a better hookup rate. You're not going to get as many missed opportunities to actually land the fish fishing some smaller stuff around here.
Got it. And, talking about not fishing on reds, you want to let folks know kind of how they can identify those in the water and, why it's...
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and why it's important not to step on them and, why you should probably not target fish on them.
Yeah, so that's always a wonderful thing to teach people about. So red is, the spawning bed of a trout. If you're fishing, especially gravelly areas of a stream bed and it's mostly shallow riffles, be aware and look for very clear patches in the stream bottom. You'll notice that suddenly you'll see this little circular clear patch that looks like all the rocks have been polished. That's a trout red. That's where these fish are actually spawning. And if you actually see fish on these clear patches in the middle of the day, those are actively spawning fish. You don't want to target them because they're doing what they're doing. And, you wouldn't want somebody busting into your bedroom while you're doing what you're doing. And you're degrading the stock for the next year. And these fish are spawning. You want to leave them alone. You don't want to target them. You don't want to fish to them. And just be aware of where you're walking. A lot of times these fish will spawn at night. So in the daytime, there's, eggs on these beds. You'll be walking around in the day. You won't see a fish there, but there will be eggs on them. And if you start stepping all over them, you're crushing next year's trout. So this fall, October through December, really important that you watch where you step on the stream and just pay attention to where you're fishing. And, you might see that 20-inch fish that you don't see the rest of the year, but if that fish is on that spawning bed, leave it alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And, folks, we love questions at the Articulate Fly. If you'll send them to us, you can email them to us or shoot them to us with a DM on any of our social media pages. If we use your question, I'll send you some Articulate Fly swag, and you're going to enter into a drawing for something cool from the shop at the end of the season. George, before I let you hop, why don't you let folks know where they can find you, when you're open, and all that kind of good stuff?
Well, we are here at 2030 East College Avenue in State College, PA. We're here Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 6, Sunday, 9 to 3, and you can find us on the web at tcoflyfishing.com.
Well, that's great. Well, listen, folks, we're getting ready to have some really great fall trout fishing. You owe it to yourself to get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, George.
All right. Take care, Mark.